Nice. I I feel like you look better with facial hair.
Yeah, I like how I look better with facial hair as well.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah.
Mm, mm, mm. I was so pumped to do role playing Sunday, and then like Misha canceled Saturday night. I was just like, no.
Oh no, I'm so sorry.
And then I was like, well, it's okay. This could still be fixed. We'll just go to Thomas's house. And then you're like, oh, let's reschedule. I'm like, no,
I'm sorry, Jeremy.
no, it's fine.
Yeah, Misha doesn't usually cancel. Did she say what was going on?
So she sent me kind of like a mysterious message. It was, dude, I'm so sorry. I just got a text from my uncle. I gotta make my way to Chattanooga tomorrow. Cryy face, cryy face. So then I thought like someone had a heart attack or was dying or got poisoned or they're stuck in a well. And then
Yeah,
I asked her Monday, I was
definitely
like, what
murdered
happened?
though, at the very least.
Yeah. And then she was like, my parents forced us to go on like a family reunion drive with them up there. I was like, oh, okay. Well, everyone's okay then.
Tragic though.
I'm like, that's good. Mm. So you guys not good?
I have heard that, but I have never spoken or anything with him.
Really?
So, yeah.
But
Um,
how can you be bad at the job though? Because don't you just answer the phone and then offer to ship them like toner?
People are morons. They can be bad at anything. Um,
But I mean, isn't that the job though? Right?
yeah. I guess she's not the best trainer. Um, so that's one aspect of it. Um,
Yeah.
and I guess if you're not like computer or communication savvy, then it will be
Yeah.
frustrating because like you have to get used to a few different systems. So I guess if you're like not good at that
Oh
and
no.
critical thinking,
Oh
then I guess you
no.
would be bad at it. I don't know though. I haven't listened to any of his calls because he's not on supplies yet. So until he's
Yeah.
on supplies, I don't care about him.
Right, right. Are you
But
are you like the only supplies guy right now?
yes, but also no. So supplies has two aspects. There's like entry and then procurement, and I'm on the entry side of it,
Mm.
so it's just me. Um, well, I guess three aspects because there's also auto fulfillment, which I don't do. Know how to do it,
Yeah.
but it's just like that's a different department because it requires more people because they get so many automated pings that it's just more than one person could handle. So Yasmin does that,
Yeah.
and I do the supplies inbox, which is just anybody in the company messages about supplies, anybody that's a customer messages concerning supplies, there's an issue with the supply. All of that goes to me.
That's a lot to deal with because that's probably going off constantly.
Yeah, it's slowed down a little bit recently. The back to school rush is kind of dying down, so I'm like getting time where like I'm actually like not constantly like answering emails and not able to catch up. So now I've started writing processes and stuff, which is cool because none of the stuff that I do has a process written for it really. Um,
Yeah.
So that's cool. So I'm starting to like get a little downtime. Don't tell anyone that. Because I don't want them to tell me to answer
Right.
phones again.
No. We will not tell
Hi.
anyone.
Hello.
Hello.
I'm
But
here. I made it.
I'll give you more of an update once I try to train him on supplies and find out whether or not he's a moron. Because I'll know real quick.
I gotcha.
Who are we
I
talking
gotcha.
about?
Yeah.
We just hired somebody new in Hotline, and apparently they're struggling with the service call printer fixing entry portion of it. So I was supposed to start them training this week on supplies, but they pushed it back because he's not ready. He's still not got that aspect of it.
Okay.
And Jeremy was asking if how he was because he's heard he's bad, and I'm like, I don't know. I've never talked or met the guy, so
Is
Yeah.
it
I'll
the
find
guy
out
that's
later.
in the that is in the office? The new one in the office?
Byron,
Yeah.
Byron. Yeah.
Okay.
Calvin. I can hear everything Calvin says, and Calvin's like, "This guy's struggling," and I was like, "Oh no."
but like struggling and being trained by Ashley, like I have no idea how smart he might be because he could just not be getting his questions answered, or he could be not
That's true.
asking the questions. Who knows?
Yeah.
I mean, he seems sharp. I don't know. I mean, some people just have that like that look about them, like
Which look?
you're not smart.
Yeah.
Like you can just kind
I've
of look
seen
at
that
them,
look.
or just they can just talk, and it's like I can see it.
Yeah.
He doesn't have that about him.
Oh,
So
good.
not to me at least. So
Who in the
Interesting.
office
I might pull
do
some
you
of his
look
calls
at and you
tomorrow. I
think,
want to listen to his calls now. I'll keep you updated. I'm interested.
I don't think there's anybody in the office that I just mean in general. Like there's
"Oh,
people
okay,
that
okay."
yeah, no. I don't think that about anybody in the office.
Yeah, I can't think
I just
of that
mean in general, like people
of
that you
anybody
kind
we
of
know.
like come across throughout life, where you're just like,
Oh.
okay, all right.
That's what we're working with.
Yeah. I mean, I don't. Yeah, I also haven't like really talked to him, the guy that or anything. I think he's been in the
Yeah.
office a few different times. Just I don't know.
Yeah.
He seems fine, but also I have no clue. He doesn't have that look about him. Let's just say that.
Jeremy, I wanted to share something with you.
Look. He doesn't look stupid.
It's like it's something about the eyes. I'm
The
totally
deadness.
Wait, serious.
what?
Like there's like less
That's my dumb
there's
face.
less life behind some people's eyes, and so it's like not all
Wait,
there. No, I'm totally serious. That's like, yeah, and obviously, like, let's be honest, intelligence is all like kind of subjective anyway. Like, you're intelligent in what way, right?
Is it though?
I joke around with Justin that like I have a negative in my skill set in menu navigation. Like
it is and it isn't. Like, I feel like common sense is huge and kind of like almost a deciding factor for whether or not somebody is just going to be like an idiot or not. Even if they like know rocket science, but they just don't. Common sense, just like not, I don't know.
I'm following. I tried to train teenagers how to make coffee at Starbucks. I know exactly what you're saying. I've taught children how to sweep before.
Yeah.
Did you see like a dim light in their eyes, Thomas?
I would go like turn the corner to like the dish pit area, which is like a huge, like big 3 sink area. And there's big signs on them that say like wash, rinse, and sanitize. And I'd look at their wash water and it would be like dark gray because they just dump things into it without rinsing them out first. And be like, do you think that's washing anything? And they'd be like, what? because they like I was a parent. I'm like, I'm too gay for this. I don't have children. Like, I don't want children. just don't be gross. The hell, like, so many times. That was always my like test for new people. I tell them to go wash dishes and then see how they do it. They'll tell me whether or not they're going to be there for long.
Yeah,
Oh
that's
my
a good
goodness.
test. Can you
Oh my
wash
Can
dishes?
you wash dishes? Because like some people don't know and like, you know, maybe have, you know, more of a privileged upbringing and stuff like that. But like dishes is a great way to tell if somebody has common sense or not.
Washing dishes, I feel like is a really good middle ground for kind of everyone. And yeah, maybe you did grow up in a household that's like a little bit more privileged, so you had a maid who did it, or I don't know, just some like you never had to. But
to Heidi.
Yeah, but I feel like it's still a very good middle ground. Like, you know, it's probably everybody's gonna be doing it at some point
should be
in their life. Yeah, even if so.
Jeremy, you don't have to look at this now, but I'm putting it in here. This is a faction list. So there's this role-playing game that I've been wanting to play for a long time, and
Are we
I just started playing it with Justin and Greg, and we're basing it in a recent video game that we played in its world because it's super cool.
Is the world cyberpunk?
No. Though we have the cyberpunk role-playing game. We haven't played it yet. But the role-playing game is called Blades in the Dark, and you are criminals in a like weird post-apocalyptic steampunky world, trying to build your criminal empire. So
I love all these words.
It's so fun. So the main point of the game is you set up scores where you go and you do your criminal jobs, and it's very like based on like Ocean's 11 and stuff like that. So one of the main components in the game is you have your health, which is a little bit different, but you also can take stress. And you have 7 stress points, and your stress lets you do like cool superpower kind of things. Yeah. And one of them is called a flashback. So while you're in a score, say a guard walks up, you can say like, I want to do a flashback, and you can flashback to before this moment in time to show something that you did in the past, and you can like bribe that guard. So that like the guard comes up to you at the party, and instead of blowing your cover, you bribed him.
Yeah.
Oh, like in the past. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Interesting.
And it's so cool. It's all about factions, because like anytime you do a score or you increase your like you do anything, you're taking something from somebody else. So you're always going to be pissing somebody off when you go do something, because you're taking something from their criminal empire. So having all these different factions in the game is a big part of it.
Would I be running the empire and like I would be playing against, say, like Christie's empire and trying to like take gold from her, or do we all work together?
So all the players work together. You are all in the same new crew, and you're trying to become like you know, powerful criminals, make you a bunch of money so that you can retire happy. But yeah, so that's one of the core components is every time you do a score to like, you know, get stuff, build your criminal crew, you're stepping on the toes of another criminal organization. So you have to balance your interactions with all the criminal organizations, you know, decide like who you're going to screw over. Like eventually it can get bad and you can have gang wars, and it's super gritty. It's super fun. So that list I sent is all of the different criminal factions.
I want to start a gang war.
Yeah, it's so cool. And there's all these different rules that happen and like it's a little rule heavy. It's not like Monster where like there's just like 8 things you can do. A lot more like minutia to it, but once you get used to it, like we've been having so much fun with it. It's so cool.
Oh yeah, I'm totally down to play. But with 2 comments. First comment, that sounds exactly like the lies of Locke Lamora. like literally. So
Oh,
so
yeah?
much.
Oh.
You know what? It references of Lachlan Moore in the book. There's like a whole page that's like, here's a bunch of media that like
Yeah.
we got like took inspiration from, and the Dresden Files are in there, and the Lives of Locke
Yeah.
Lamora. There's a bunch of other ones. You'd recognize a lot of them.
Okay. Yeah, it sounds so similar to like definitely that first book for sure. Number 2, totally down to play a criminal with an empire, but can can we play my scenario first?
Oh,
Please.
Oh, yeah.
this isn't me asking to play
Okay.
this. I just wanted to show you because I thought you'd enjoy the list
Oh,
because
okay. Okay.
it's cool to like read through all the
Yes.
different
So we need to do yours first, though.
factions.
Yes. I promise it's gonna be
absolutely.
good. I promise.
No,
Yeah.
and it's good to kind of, especially since we're like still getting used to role playing, to stick to the same game.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
this,
that
like,
makes
we
sense.
wouldn't be comfortable playing in this game until we played like 4 times or so. Like, it's the rules are totally different. Yeah, totally different game.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
But I want to
Okay.
share because we've been playing and it's been fun.
I love it, and I want to hear more about it in depth. Would you guys be free? So definitely not next weekend, because next weekend is party weekend.
Party
But
weekend?
yeah,
Party
2
all weekend.
weekends.
What are you doing this weekend? Now I need to know.
Oh, partying.
Constant party. Yeah, I'm out of town anyway.
2 weeks out. What are we thinking?
So is that like
So the 9th and the 10th?
the 9th, 10th, like that, or 16, 17? I mean, that would be technically 1 week out, and a little more like 1.5.
Because I don't want to bother people on the holiday weekend, because I'm sure everyone's got important plans and cool stuff already scheduled. So I was thinking the Sunday after the holiday weekend, because it's we get Monday off next Monday, right?
Yeah, the
Mhm.
4th. Yeah.
So what about the Sunday after that? Is that
To the 10th.
acceptable?
Yeah, absolutely. And I can talk to
Yeah,
Justin
I
and
don't
Greg and
have
let him
anything.
know that, like, if something falls through, that we might do it here.
Yeah, if
Okay.
that's that way, we at least have a backup. Because if something happens and then we have a backup, that would be cool. So we don't have to, like, move it again.
It's a good idea.
Yeah.
Okay. Nice.
I hope you didn't already have like a bunch of food made, or you do
Okay.
and you're just gonna eat it.
So
I mean, it's not necessarily a bad thing, but
yeah, so there's a story behind that. And I wanted it to be Korean themed.
Mhm.
So I'm heading downstairs.
Right. I remember you were gonna do like Korean barbecue and something else. I don't remember what else you were gonna do.
Yeah, I even had test runs. Like, I did a test
Oh.
run.
Ooh.
Because remember when I posted that Korean food in the chat? That was like test run number 1.
Okay.
That's exactly something I would do if I was cooking for somebody else. I
Yeah.
would absolutely cook the meal beforehand to make sure that, like, I don't fuck it up fresh. Like,
Yeah.
turtle
Oh my
chips.
gosh,
those.
turtle
That's
chips.
so
Oh,
Korean.
I love it.
So that's ready to go. You got Japanese peanuts,
Nice.
and we also had red bean mochi.
Oh,
But
that's
the
good.
red bean mochi has been decimated.
I see.
But that
So we're
that
gonna
makes sense
have to
though.
get
I
more
would
of that.
do the same thing.
Yeah. But I'm a little happy it got canceled, because I was like, oh, let me try Korean pork belly and kimchi radish. And the kimchi radish smelled super, super bad. Pretty sure all of you guys would have vomited. Wait,
Dang.
let me interrupt Kelly real quick and get her take on it. Okay, what did the kimchi radish smell like?
nuclear baby diapers.
Nuclear baby diapers. Yeah.
No.
Nuclear
It was
baby
like
diapers.
Really, but like you would have rather smelled the kitty's litter box than.
Yeah, it was on that level. And then the pork belly was some of the fattiest meat I've ever encountered, and I was like, I couldn't serve this to guests, honestly, in good conscience.
Well, maybe okay. So it was a blessing in disguise then.
I would say so. Because I wouldn't want you guys smelling that or like the super fatty meat. So yes.
Right.
Interesting, because pork belly usually has like a cap of fat on it, right?
It's usually
But,
pretty thick
like-
cap of fat though, because that's pork belly is also
Yeah.
what bacon is. Or bacon.
Yeah, but
It's
it's
just
not
like it's
usually like
sliced.
marbled a lot, like in it.
No, not marbled. It's just like a big, like thick strip of fat, typically. Yeah.
I've watched a
That's
lot of
interesting.
videos
Yeah, it
recently on
was-
cooking like whole like pork, like to get like the crispy like fat on one side.
Mhm.
And I kind of want to try it, but I'm like, do I really need to put that much fat into my body, like on purpose? Not really.
Yes. The
I
answer
made
is
the most
yes.
delicious thing I've ever cooked in my life last week.
Yeah.
I made just like a crock pot beef roast.
I love
nice.
a roast.
I saved
Yeah.
the stock like from that because I just use store-bought beef stock, but like I sauteed onions and garlic and put it on there, and then
Yeah.
carrots and celery and all the stuff I put in with it. And so I
Yeah.
saved that liquid and made French onion soup with it.
Oh.
It was the best tasting thing I've ever made in my life. It was so good.
Yeah.
Justin, who is not an onion fan, loved it. Like it was so good.
Nice.
That sounds amazing.
That's awesome.
Now I
Yeah.
want more.
I want some of that. But now you got to make the roast to make the soup.
Exactly. Yeah, and I don't think
Not that
it
that's a bad
definitely
thing,
wouldn't be
but-
the same if I just used stock. And I'm not going to make my own stock because like
Who does that? Yeah.
who does that? Like,
Just cook.
not a-
I'm
not a
just gonna
chef.
buy it. It's too much work.
But I will make a roast and then like in a few days make that soup. I will do that again.
Yeah. That's a good plan. Just like whenever you make that, then you.
Yeah, if
Make
y'all
the
come over like when it's like colder out, I'll be more likely to like make it. I'll make sure to make it for you guys. It's so good.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also easy because you just,
Well,
I mean, it takes forever to caramelize onions.
It
but
does like 30 minutes, but
Yeah.
yeah,
Mhm.
but it's so worth it.
So I'm hearing role playing dinner club. So fancy.
I
Yeah.
am a
Oh.
foodie.
Funny. Oh,
Oh, I was just gonna say, I love soup season. It's like soup is like one of my favorite foods in
No,
general.
Oh yeah.
I just love soup. All right, good.
All right, I will definitely make it for us, which is a great excuse to also have a roast. So,
Yeah. Exactly.
Funny story before we start talking about C.S. Lewis. So I go out to lunch with Billy Friday, and like we're hanging out at some like Peruvian restaurant, and he looks at me. He's like, "Hey man, what are you doing this weekend? What's going on? You gonna watch some sports? No soccer? Watch some like cage fighting?" And at that point, I didn't know that role playing was going to be
MMA.
canceled. So I was like, "Oh, I'm just going to be playing some games with friends, just games." And he goes, "What do you mean, like board games? You guys play board games?" And I was like,
I mean, board games are
Monopoly?
fun.
I love board games.
Yeah.
I love a good board
I
game.
was not board games per se, Billy. It's like you pretend you're like your elf, and then you roll these dice to see if you like do something. Type of game. And he goes, "Listen, back in the '80s, I played Dungeons and Dragons too."
See? Oh my gosh, perfect. That's amazing.
It
And I'm
secretly
like,
unites us all.
Billy played Dungeons and Dragons. He does not look like he would play.
I would never have guessed. I would never have guessed that
Ever.
as like a teen or a
Ever.
kid Yeah.
Yeah. He loves bourbon, cigars.
I can see that. I can see that.
Gambling, like, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just
And
realized I
Dungeons
don't
Dragons.
think I have a picture of my dad.
Yeah.
But like my dad is like, he looks like a biker dude, and he
Oh my
like
gosh, amazing.
played D&D when he was a kid and like plays computer games now.
Really?
He's like a very talented artist. Like
he is a jack of all trades.
yeah, my
He's
dad's
like,
an interesting character.
Yeah, really.
He's like the main character from Name of the Wind, Kavoth or whatever.
Both. Yeah, if you want to read a good like coming of age story, read the first Name of the Wind and then don't read the second one. Jeremy was absolutely right. I read that.
Oh,
I read the
okay, so
chat
you did
earlier,
read it.
and I was like, yeah,
okay.
that's a good assessment.
Yeah. I thought you had that chat muted, so I didn't know you read it. Okay.
I didn't read it like live, like while y'all were having the conversation, but I read it afterwards.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Trying to see if I can find a picture of him. I don't think I have one. No. Okay. Oh well. I'll see if I can get a picture of my dad. He's a funny guy. Yeah, it's so interesting because the first time I read Name of the Wind and then read the second book, I was like, oh, that was great. Interesting. I'm glad I know more about both. And then the second time I read it, I was like, time out. I was like,
wait,
that was weird. That's super weird what just happened. All of it. It's super weird.
the Florian?
Yeah, Florian. That was her name. I was like, something.
Yeah.
Fallopian tube?
Basically.
Fallopian.
I mean, honestly, you're not far off. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was pretty much the fallopian.
He gets like whisked off into fairy, and then like a fairy goddess like has sex with him for like years.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and then he gets out and he goes and he learns how to use this like weapons and martial arts from a small group of like highly trained and respected mercenaries, where like that's their culture, and also they're like super polygamous and like sex isn't a thing for them, and it's in the same book. It's the next things that happen.
Yeah. So just do the first one. Just do the first one. You'll be good. Yeah. Speaking of books, so I alluded to this weeks ago, but okay, I don't know if you guys had a similar reaction, but reading about the death of Aslan was kind of traumatic for me.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah, I can remember the first time reading that, and it was yeah, I think I probably cried, especially because I was like in middle school, so I'm sure I definitely did.
I was reading it in the office and I had to stop reading it because I was just like, I was starting to feel weird, and I was like, I can't cry in the office. No one's gonna understand
comes over.
I can't cry about this line god.
I know. Like Juan comes over, hey, what's up?
Yeah.
And I'll just be like crying.
You could just pretend like this problem, this security problem is just really tough. It's making me get emotional.
Yeah.
Get emotional to the security.
Oh man. The last time I felt that emotional reading a book was the suicide for Harold in The Stand. That was the last time I felt like that much emotion.
Yeah. That's an emotional part too.
I was thinking, reading back through this time, I can't think of another death in a book that made me feel that specific way, that like, because like Harry Potter and Dumbledore, like
yeah,
like it's sad, but it's got nothing on Aslan, because Aslan is such a Jesus character, but like more than Jesus, he's like all of the Godhead. He's like, Father and Son, like all like mixed in one.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, but he's so good, and he does so much good like for the children, and it's so traumatic when he dies. but then like, you know, becomes this great thing. I can't think of any other like death in a book series that like quite made me feel like that.
Yeah. I agree, but I will say, at least for Harry Potter, Dobby.
Oh shit, yeah.
I don't want to spoil anything for you, Jeremy. That's all I'll say. But bawling.
Oh.
But yeah.
Bawling.
Yeah.
There's I can think of like one book series that like had some deaths that were like really sad and they shouldn't have happened. It's the Malazan series. In the second book, which is often like lauded as like one of the best books of the series. Um Spoiler for the Malazan series for our many viewers. But in the second book, it follows a bunch of people running from a revolution, like in the land that they're occupying. So the natives have rebelled and are like, you know, taking back over. So they're fleeing to one of the cities they hold, and all the leadership of the army is killed at the gates of the city, and they won't open up long enough to get them to safety. And it's so tragic because they freaking made it. They carted all these refugees across the desert for the whole book.
Yeah.
And then when they die, you're like, oh shit, like did that really just happen? Now there is some payoff. It's not that they just die, like other things happen. But that's probably the closest, but it still doesn't quite like get what you feel when Aslan like, you know, sacrifices himself like that, and he just walks in there. What a badass!
Right. He doesn't say anything to anyone. The only reason that Lucy and Susan know is because they followed him. But if they hadn't, then you know.
Oh yeah.
That whole scene was very
Peter
like
and
Garden of
Edmund
Gethsemane, like to me.
Didn't ever find out. Yeah. Yeah, it's a good. It's good.
Yeah, the parallels obviously were like super heavy, and
Yeah,
like
they
all
are,
the
especially in that
creatures
one for
are
sure. Yeah. It's
like all the
it's
creatures
the
are
heaviest in that book, I
mocking
would
him.
say. Mhm.
Huh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah. Which kind of makes sense because that was the first one he wrote, and also like kind of the only one he intended to write. So it kind of makes sense why that one would have the heaviest.
Yeah, like he had the trajectory very firmly in his mind when he was writing it, that like this is what the story is. Like these are like who the characters are, like, you know, allegorically.
Right. Like I always thought of both Lucy and Susan as like Mary Magdalene too.
Huh.
Because they like untie him and they like clean him up. And now this is like, of course, after he's sacrificed.
Yeah.
But they like take care of him in a similar way.
Yeah, because I remember. Yeah, I never thought about that.
But they're not prostitutes. Sorry.
They're not. That's true. They are not child prostitutes. See, he could have gotten it more accurate, but he didn't. No, but they clean him up, and then they are there when he sort of basically rises from the dead, right? Because except that it's not 3 days later, but you know. So I kind of always at least in that moment, that particular part of the book felt very Mary Magdalene to me.
Huh.
One thing I was always disappointed in, and it's because I like to know, I'm a fantasy nerd, so I want to know the lore. Where the hell did the stone table come from? What is the stone table?
Yeah,
who made
that
it?
is one thing that and like the old, like who came up with that old magic? That's like, because the White Witch basically owns Edmund, she can like sacrifice him or whatever it was. But if there's even older magic than that said, it's like, so where did that come from? And the stone table. Why is that like a sacrificial?
Yeah.
Why did we leave that here?
It was a little bit of a DBZ plot line there where it was like, oh, I know the ancient magic,
Yeah.
but I know the magic that's
The
even more ancient, Frieza.
Yeah. Haha. Yeah.
DBZ.
And I was like,
That's good.
Psych.
It felt
Yeah.
very like Dragon Ball Z at that point.
Yeah. My power is older.
But did you know I have a level 5 that I can go to?
I'm gonna type these words into Google. Super Saiyan Aslan.
I wouldn't be
I
surprised
love
if
it.
you find stuff for it. Hi. Hello.
This isn't not really it, but this is the closest thing I found.
Oh my gosh, you're so cute. Don't do that. Ow. Ow. Ow.
How is that not a thing? Like stuff going Super Saiyan
Oh.
that doesn't usually go Super Saiyan. We got to
I
start
love
a
it.
trend, guys.
No.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, the art is really cool.
Yeah, it is.
But I want to see like a potato
That's
go
great.
Super Saiyan. I want to see what that looks like.
Let's just Super Saiyan everything.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like a lamp, like it's just off, and then you turn it on.
That radish kimchi went Super Saiyan kimchi.
Oh no.
What I liked at the end, which was kind of fascinating to me, is so like all the children just live out full lives in Narnia and they become like adults and they're like
Yeah.
kings and queens. And then they're
Yeah.
like they just stumble across the lamppost and I guess that kind of jogs their memory.
Mhm.
And
Yeah,
they're
like they
like,
kind of
oh,
lose
what
it
if
a
we go
bit.
through here?
Yeah, they like
Oh,
basically forget that they came from
yeah.
another world and yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I always thought that was kind of
And
fascinating.
yeah, it seemed, you know what movie it reminded me of? It reminded me of Inception, where these people kind of get trapped in this dream world and they age like crazy,
And
and then you like
they
come
think
out of
it's
the
their
dream.
reality.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or they
Yeah.
can at least if they're like if they're not careful, they can live whole lives in a
Mm-hmm.
dream and be aging in the real world and it's
Yeah.
Yeah.
I loved that part. I thought that was really, really cool there at the end.
Yeah. I always no matter what, I always think about the fact though that when they come back into our world,
Mm-hmm.
they have aged mentally at that point.
Oh, that's
Because they're
true.
returned to like, if they're in Narnia and let's say like,
Yeah.
I don't know, 20 years passes, right? They're
Yeah.
all adults. And so they like mentally,
True.
physically have become the adult, but then they go back to our world and they like go back into their like kids' bodies or whatever. But they
Yeah.
still have these memories and this
Yeah.
maturity that they didn't have. Like, yeah. But it's also like
That's true.
no time has passed either, basically. Like 5 minutes.
Man, I'm trying to
Yeah.
imagine what it would be like if I had like lived a life and then got like I
Yeah.
woke up one day and I was back to being like 14. I think I would just
Ugh.
be mad that I had to sneak cigarettes.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'd started smoking at 15, so it's not that different.
Just 1 year sooner. But I just feel like that would be so frustrating because you're stuck in this physical body that doesn't match your mentality anymore.
Yeah.
And so you
Right.
feel like, oh, I can go be this adult out in the world. Like I know what it is to be an adult for the most part, or at least a 20, 20s, early 20s, maybe not like 50s or anything, but
Mm-hmm.
an adult of some kind. But if you're going about the world physically like a child, then like people are going to see you as a child, and so they're going to be like, well, I mean, okay, maybe it's a little bit more of a mature child, but you know, they're still a child, so they'll still be treated like a child.
What a regal bearing in this child.
such a king, this child. Yeah, I don't know. It just is always like kind of weird to me, and I feel like that'd be so frustrating.
Yeah, because they don't lose their memories, because it talks about how like it's like a little inside thing for them.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, there's no way that they would lose the
It's not like they
maturity.
immediately come back through the wardrobe and like forget everything that happened, you know, because then because they go to talk to the professor about it, and he's what does he say? I think he says like, you can't go back, like, you know, you'll be able to return, you're just not going to be able to go back the same way that you got there the first time.
Oh, so they have to, so they can return, but not through the wardrobe again? So it's like sealed off for them?
Correct. Yeah, for them
So
it is.
How do they get back?
You have to read on.
I know my favorite way they get to Narnia, but I don't want to talk about it yet.
Yeah,
it's so good.
Because he's at the very end. They say once a king, always a king, or once a queen of Narnia, always a queen. So that by default means that they can and will return to Narnia. They just can't go back the same way. So it's not like they can go like the next day, like I'm just gonna go back through the wardrobe, and you know.
Yeah.
I've always
read the magicians again.
Yeah. I have always thought of it as like, if Narnia wants you to be there, Narnia is gonna make you be there.
Oh, I like that.
Because think about Lucy. She got to go more than once through the same way, right? But Narnia meant for them to be there. That was the whole point, was for 4 children, because there was like a prophecy or whatever, 4 children to come into Narnia and defeat the witch and restore Narnia to its like former self, essentially, and become the kings and queens. But then their purpose was done, so Narnia let them go. That's always kind of how I thought of it. But then Narnia at some point may need them again, and so it's going to find a way to make them return.
Almost like it's sentient in a way, where it's like
almost
when it needs them. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're trying to look and see how many times Lucy gets to go to Narnia.
She's the one who has the most. She goes the most often compared to everybody else.
Yeah.
But I don't remember how many times that is.
Is it always Edmund and Lucy together? I think it is.
After
like every time Lucy goes, Edmund also goes.
I believe that is true. Yeah.
When I started the next one in the line, it was like a horse and his boy, or a horse and the boy.
Horse and his boy.
Yeah. I anticipated it would be like, you know, Edmund's being a jerk and trying to push someone in the mud or something, and then Peter's like, why don't we take another adventure to Narnia? But that's not how it opened up at all. It's like during the reign of the great king, there was this character named Shasta, and I was like, wait, are we not following the children? Are we following like a totally different set of characters here? Like
at this point, there will never be. It might be the very, very last book, and like an only part of the very last book. But you will never see the 4 of them again in Narnia together. Maybe in the very last one, if I can't remember correctly. Yeah.
I feel like Prince Caspian might have all of them.
It has Edmund and Lucy and their cousin, but not Susan and Peter, though.
Huh. Okay.
And then their cousin I forgot about their cousin also is in Voyage of the Dawn Treader with his friend, his like school friend, but not Edmund or Lucy or Peter or Susan.
I'm so excited about getting to Voyage of the Dawn Treader. I like that one so much. Good one.
And I can't remember who all goes to who all's in Silver Chair. It might be. Well, maybe Lucy is in.
I think that's their cousin, because I think it's their cousin's name also starts with an E.
It's Eustace. That's what it is.
That's it. Yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
Good job.
But yeah, it's definitely not like where you follow the same people in every book. There might be like a couple books where you see the same characters, but
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was jarring for me because I was anticipating one thing and it was completely different. I was like, wait, who are all these new people?
Mm-hmm.
And the Narnia timeline jumps around a lot too, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
Like when they go to Narnia, it's not always like, the next few years, because from Magician's Nephew to Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, I mean, it's almost like it's 1,000 years.
It's like, something like that. Yeah, at least like 500 or something like that, because there's been several generations.
And nobody knows what humans look like, so at least they're dead. Yeah.
Right.
That's
like
true.
The original ones that Aslan brought into the world. Yeah.
I bet their children were lonely as fuck. Sorry. It's just something I've been thinking this whole time.
Yeah. Probably so.
They got all of Narnia to play around in, so they were fine.
Yeah. And like centaurs and talking beavers and stuff.
Yeah. The fish in the sea. Fish can talk.
Yeah.
It's cool that I can see the excitement for both of you guys getting to talk about Narnia again. So it's just cool seeing two adults like kind of reliving like their childhood past, So because I could see like when both of you start talking about the books and you're kind of like bouncing off each other, you're like, oh, and this book's really cool, and then this is gonna happen. It's rare to see that in adults where they could like get
excited about something like that.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
We're gonna meet Puddle Glum one day, and it's gonna be great because he's such a stick in the mud, and I love him so much.
Oh, I forgot about him.
He's so dour.
Yeah.
He's so dour.
I'll be honest, I don't even remember what A Horse and His Boy is about.
I've been racking my brain trying to remember anything about it. I don't remember anything about it.
Zero clue about what happens. Like the rest of them, I at least have like an idea, like especially Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe and A Silver Chair, because that one's my favorite. And then like Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe is like the most well-known one. But
yeah.
And then like Magician's Nephew, I for the most part remembered what happens.
It's easy to retain that story in particular.
Yeah.
Something about it.
And then like Prince Caspian, Don Treader, but and then the final battle. I remember that one too. But Horse and His Boy.
I don't know who the horse is. I don't remember who the boy is. I have no idea.
I don't know either. It could be Strawberry. I don't know. Probably not, since this is next to the timeline. But I don't know. I have no clue.
I'm so glad I'm not alone, because I was the whole time since I finished, I was like, I have no idea what's going on in Horse.
Yeah, I know it doesn't have the 4 kids again, but other than that, I don't like. And you said there was some character named Shasta, and I was like, I don't know who that is.
Yeah,
no clue.
I'm still
doesn't
trying to
ring a bell.
It out as well.
Yeah, clearly that was like, I guess maybe the least favorite.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like.
Not that it. I don't remember any of them ever being bad. So just because it's like the least doesn't like mean I ever thought it was bad. But I just don't remember what it's about at all. But
maybe
I'm excited.
Maybe speed through that one, because you're like, yeah, I don't remember anything, and then Thomas is like, yeah, me neither.
I'm sure it's gonna be great.
Like,
no, I think I'll love it. It'll be like rereading it all over again. But I'm sure I'll reach points
remember it as we read it.
I know, that's what I'm wondering. I feel like I'll probably remember like, oh, okay, yeah, this is jogging my memory now, but I don't know. I've definitely read stuff or watched stuff again, and it's like, it's almost like I never read or watched it because I don't remember basically any of it. I kind of like that though, because I can read a book or watch a movie or a TV show and then like not like forget about it for like several years and then come back to it. And I might remember like bits and pieces and stuff, but like the larger story I've basically completely forgotten about, which kind of feels strange, but I also kind of love it because it's like, ooh, I get to do it over again.
I'm similar. There's some things I remember super well, but usually I remember like broad like brushstrokes. Like I'm rewatching West Wing right now and just loving every moment of it because like I remember the gist of a lot of things, but it's still exciting to watch it because like still like it's almost like it's new content with the same characters just because I don't remember like the storylines of each episode, but I love the characters so much, so I get to just watch them do their thing.
Yep. Exactly. Same thing for me too.
How did you like where the crawfish ride bikes?
Where the crawfish ride bikes. I loved it. It's apparently was like a, I don't know. I actually have no idea when it was published, but probably like 5 or something years ago. But it's also apparently a movie that came out last year that I haven't ever seen. But I've had the book for like several years now, and I literally just got around to reading it. Yeah. But I very much enjoyed it. It is, I would say it's more of a coming of age story than it is a murder mystery. While it is a murder mystery, the murder mystery part of it to me is pretty weak, but it's still enjoyable.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's more of a coming of age story than anything, and I love those kinds of stories. I don't know what it is about seeing somebody sort of go through like the difficulties of just learning about the world around them and the people around them and how to navigate and just and mature through, like, I don't know, it's something, it's just really fascinating.
We should read Piranesi together. Oh, it's so good.
Yeah,
I found it.
It's like
I
that
found
in
that
reverse.
book.
It's so good.
Oh, is it really? Ooh.
Yeah.
I like that. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's like it's a weird coming of age story is another unique way to look at it.
Okay. It's funny because I found whenever I go anywhere and there's a book that looks interesting to me, I'll just take a picture of it. So I literally, on my camera roll, I have like hundreds of pictures of book covers that just like, that looks interesting or sounds interesting if I read like the synopsis.
Yeah.
And I found like a couple weeks ago, I found a picture of the book cover of Piranesi. So I was like, aha, okay.
Excellent. Yeah, it's a great book cover.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I told you guys that my cousin tried to get me to read it with him for like our little book club too. So
that's right.
We have to read it at some point because it just keeps coming up in the
Does.
universe
I think
somehow.
Like it's required now. And I'm fine with that.
So
accurate.
Good.
Yeah.
How did you like Santa? How'd you feel about that?
I love Santa being in it for some weird reason. It kind of doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense at all.
It actually
like, is he another godlike character? Like
it makes zero sense, right? Like, how is Santa even an idea in this other world? I don't know. Like, where did Santa, like, how did they come about that?
And it's like becoming spring, and he's like, "Fuck it!" Like it has been Christmas for so long.
It's funny because that's like the one character that I completely forgot about in The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe because I think it just makes almost zero sense that my brain was like, we're gonna block that out because it doesn't even make any sense why he would even be here.
I really wonder why he decided to put it in there. Because, like, I get the almost it's always winter, never Christmas. So, like, when her magic dies, like, now Santa comes.
I don't know if he needed a reason for them to receive these gifts that would prepare them for battle, because I don't. I mean, I guess the only other place they would come from would be Aslan.
Yeah.
Which would make more sense actually if they came from Aslan. But I don't know.
Let's ask the internet. Why is Santa in Narnia?
Why is Santa even an idea, much less a real being? He must be like a god. I don't know. Or maybe not a god, because that would imply that there are, I don't know, if this is supposed to be like a Christian.
It's also something that says it symbolizes the benevolence and bounty that Christianity has to offer.
Okay.
Oh. Huh.
Yeah.
It just makes you think of the benevolence and bounty that Santa has to offer.
Right, because Santa has nothing to do with Christianity.
I guess it's for the kids. Kids love a Santa scene.
Maybe.
Huh.
Oh, that's a video.
I don't know about you, but I remember Santa coming to Jesus' birth, so
yeah.
In the Bible.
It was
in my Bible it doesn't.
Minor character.
Yeah.
Sheep, major character.
Yes.
Cows, minor characters. Santa, major character.
In my direct translation of the Bible from the original
Greek and Aramaic,
Santa made an appearance.
Oh man. It's funny that you guys bring that up, because at that point in the story, it was so off the wall and crazy. Like, I saw Santa show up and it didn't even faze me for like 1 second. I was like, we got talking beavers. One of them has a rocking chair. One of them drinks beer.
Everything already doesn't make sense. There's talking things that don't normally talk. So yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I can't remember if Santa. I'm almost 100% sure that Santa is not in the movie. Like, they completely cut the Santa from being in the live action movie.
Oh yeah, interesting.
I think that they did, because I think really it just doesn't make sense. And then he shows up for like 5 minutes and then that's it. He's gone. So it's not.
Yeah.
Also, I love a Santa that gives out weapons.
Yeah, that too. Here's a real sword, not a play sword. Like,
here's
you can
a bow and arrow and a sword. And then, because this might hurt you, here's a little glass juice.
Right.
Have at it.
If I remember correctly, like, pretty much right after Peter's given the sword, doesn't like a wolf attack him, like, within like just a couple minutes, and he slays it?
I believe so. Yes.
Yeah.
That's true. That's correct.
It was a really weird flow, because it's like, here's the sword, and then immediately like this wolf comes out of nowhere and he kills it, and then they start calling him like Wolfbane or something like that.
Yeah. Or I think, is it him or is it the sword that they call Wolfsbane or something like that?
Maybe it's the
remember.
sword.
Because he has a title already. Well, like, I mean, okay, that's like at the end of the book, I guess. It's like Peter the Great or something, but it's not the Great, but something like that. Yeah.
Huh. Okay.
And so yeah, Santa happened. Also, don't think he comes into the series ever again. I might be wrong about that too.
if he does appear in any book,
It should be
probably
the last
battle. But I highly doubt it. I doubt he does.
Riding his battle sleigh.
There's a Santa character in Dresden Files, which I really love. He's like a fairy named Kringle.
Kringle.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That's great.
He's scary.
Let's see.
He murders more than you would think Santa should murder.
Okay, yeah, there is no Santa in the movie, which makes sense to me because it's not really like a driving part of the
force.
I wish I could hear that conversation. Are we going to do Santa? No.
It does it. Does it make sense? Yeah, they probably get their gifts and their like swords and whatever from Aslan because let's be honest, that actually makes more sense.
Yeah.
It is a great movie though.
I kind of want to go back and watch the original live action.
Oh, I do too. It's been a while since I've seen it, but I've seen it like
seen
probably
that one
five.
That one does
or
have Santa
6 different times. Wait,
yeah,
there's an original live action
when I was a kid.
Oh, I know there's an animated version. There's another live action.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. Because I've seen the animated version. I see. Oh, it's okay. Oh wait, no. Oh my gosh, there's so much.
Is it the one on the BBC from 1988?
But then there's also a 1967 one, and then there's a 1979 film. Oh wait, that's an animated. There's this 1967 one made for TV, a 1988 made for TV on the BBC.
Oh wow.
And there's the 2005 film. Okay.
The 1979 animated one is amazing.
Yes, that's I believe the one that I believe that's the one that I've seen. If that's the only animated one, then that's definitely the one I've seen.
I've never seen that animated one. I gotta see it from 1979.
I don't remember. I don't really. I mean, I'm sure they followed it like basically to a T. But I don't really quite remember it. I just know we watched it because we read the book in 4th grade, which was before the 2005 film came out. So it's like not like we watched that. So I remember we watched something, and I don't remember it being live action. I remember it being animated. So I think it was that one. Yes. Oh wait. Yes. You know,
that one did have Santa in it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they probably followed everything to a T. Like everything that happens in the book, they basically did it like verbatim. Yeah, that looks exactly like what I saw. By the way, that screenshot of the queen just looks like oh gosh, what's her name? Maleficent to me.
Oh really?
Yeah, well, before she turns into a dragon.
Yeah. Look at this.
Wait, not Maleficent. Not Maleficent. The stepmother. Is it the stepmother? And who does she look like? Let me see.
Man, it's like 3 hours long too.
Is it her? No. Who is it? Oh wait. Snow White. That's what I'm thinking of.
Oh, okay.
The like the evil queen in Snow White. That's who the White Witch looks like to me in the animated.
Oh, gotcha. Ooh, they have the silver chair on the BBC from 1990. That looks amazing.
I think they probably
Lion
made
Witch
all
of
of
the
them.
Wardrobe,
They probably made all of
88
them.
on BBC. Yeah, these actually look good. I want to watch all these.
Yeah. That's not what I want.
We'll save these for when we're all stressed out. We did 0 reading.
Yes. Perfect.
Wait, what? Whoa.
Oh my gosh. Wait, what?
Wait,
I'm
what is
scared.
this?
Why does that come up when I search for like Narnia movies?
They made a porno. It was put up 7 days ago?
What is that? I don't
click
want to
on it,
click on it, but like
Jonathan.
I kind of do. Anyway, sorry. I should have posted that. That's weird. I was just like, what? Like, I'm just
No,
scrolling
No, I
like,
know.
through like the
see
No,
it.
but
BBC movies.
it is a very weird thing to come up when you're just
Yeah,
searching.
like the title.
Yeah.
The title
I don't know
alone was
how.
just like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Is that from the
Like,
animated
how did
series?
they?
Is that Edmund and the dwarf?
It is. It is. Yep, it's totally. It's so good.
And the queen looks like the White Witch looks like she should fight the X-Men.
She's like the White Queen, the one that would always seduce Scott Summers.
Yeah.
She'd always be like talking to him psychically, like, "Oh, you don't really need Jean."
She's actually the end of the world anyways. So.
Yep.
All right.
It's so cool that they just like posted this stuff on YouTube and it's like free. Like this is awesome.
Yeah, I doubt
I
it's.
need
It's not that
to
surprising.
order The Horse and His Boy.
Absolutely.
Rich books.
I still want them to make the rest, like all of them. They're gonna have to just basically start over at this point. But I still want all of them as movies.
So the BBC didn't do all of them? They kind of like skipped around?
No, well, no, I mean they probably did do all of them animated or whatever they did, but I mean like live action blockbuster movie theater movies, because they only did 3,
Oh,
Oh
okay.
shit! I
which
didn't know that.
they're Disney, but they only did Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, Prince Caspian, and Dawn Treader.
Apparently, the
Oh.
BBC did more though. I found one that's showing The Voyage of the Dawn Treader, The Silver Chair, Prince Caspian, and The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe.
But live action ones?
That's what it looks like.
Like recent or?
No, this is like the older one.
Okay.
But I didn't realize that they had done more than The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe.
Right. Okay. I mean, that's not all that surprising.
Yeah, that's true. They tend to do things in themes.
Yeah. I want some like blockbuster releases. Like they were starting to do it and then they didn't finish it.
The thing I remember the most about The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe that came out recently, well,
right.
Since after 2000, was that there was a phoenix in it. And I remember being like, Phoenix, that's cool.
There was? I don't remember that.
Yeah, it does like a flyover at one point in the story.
Oh, okay.
It's like not like a big thing, but I remember being like, oh, cool, they threw that in there.
Yeah.
I didn't know that was
makes sense why there would be a phoenix. I could see that. Yeah. Okay. I mean, there's talking animals, so why not?
Yeah. Guys, I just saw the cutest thing. So both of them got fixed today, so they can't have like incestuous weird babies. And they're both on painkillers.
Yeah.
And the little girl cat was like on so many painkillers, she was all spaced out. So she had like been drinking water, and there was just like water hanging off her like lips, but she was like so spaced out she didn't even realize it, and she's just like, and I'm like, oh my gosh,
Oh, baby.
I know.
Aw. Poor
Oh,
little kitty.
Oh.
I know. She couldn't even jump up on the bed. She was just like looking at the bed, like you could tell
Where
she
am
wanted to
I?
come up, but
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Oh,
Oh.
anyway.
See my boy. Wonder what he's doing.
Yeah.
You know, Ponyo is in here. But now she's not.
Time to end the meeting, and we'll all check on our cats and make sure they're okay.
Yes.
It's
Let
also close to dinner
meeting
time too.
adjourned.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. That was an awesome meeting. I love that.
Yeah. That was fun.
Mhm.
Thanks, guys.
Cool. Yeah.
I hope you
thanks.
guys make good choices.
Yes. Everybody make good choices and stay
Everyone.
reading and slutty.
Yes. Stay reading and slutty. Stay slutty.
Bye,
Bye.
friends.